Hello, everyone. Welcome back into the radio program called Simply Life. I'm Keith Casebolt, and the guy that originated this idea in the show, my dear friend, Gary C. Johnson.
Wonderful to be here. Today we're going to talk about living, but before we start, I made a statement to you, don't you love this life? And I want you to say exactly what you said.
I absolutely love it, and I love it better each day.
And I believe you even said you have become fanatical.
I am fanatical about life, yes. I enjoy every aspect of it, every moment of it, every thought of it. I enjoy this big feature film that we're all playing in right now, and you have taught me, if you want to watch a great reality show, watch Life, the greatest reality show of all.
I was reading an article, which it seems like that's what I spend most of my time doing, about this young man who's 31 years old that had terminal cancer and only had a few months to live. And he said, I want to pass something on to you. Rejoice in every gray hair you get.
Yes.
Rejoice that you get old enough for your hair to come out. Rejoice in the fact that you have a birthday. Rejoice in the fact that you have your life. Because mine is over at 31 years old.
Wow.
And those of you that do not rejoice in those things as you get older, you are making a big mistake.
Gary.
Because I wish I had the opportunity to worry about gray hair and losing hair and getting old.
Obviously, this young man had the reverence
For life.
that you talked about. I, too, read an article over the weekend which absolutely shocked me. You see the numbers on this pandemic and how horrible it is that we've lost so many people. In 2019, we lost 46,000 Americans to suicide. 46,000 deaths to suicide. There was another 120,000 attempted suicides. And when I read those numbers, it was staggering to think of. And I kept thinking about the reverence for life and all of the things that you've been reading to us on this program. And oh, how I wished all of those people could hear it.
And maybe we, with this program, can keep at least one person from committing suicide. Maybe this program this week will do that. Now, let me tell you why I think I might be able to talk you folks into not doing it. I already talked to you about the reverence, the life. I'm going to read to you a little bit more about this book, from this book, The Art of Living, by Wilfred Peterson. And there's some things in it that I've not read before. One is the art of taking time to live. Those of you that may be thinking it's life has nothing for you, I want to read this to you. To get the most out of life, we must take time to live as well as to make a living. We must practice the art of filling our moments with enriching experiences that will give us new meaning and depth to our lives. We should take time for good looks and good books, time to absorb the thoughts of poets and philosophers, seers and prophets, time for music that washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life, time for friendships, time for talks by the fire and walks beneath the stars, time for children that we may find again the kingdom of heaven within our hearts, time for laughter, time for letting go and filling the heart with mirth, time for travel, time for pilgrimage and festival, for shrine and exhibit, for rock-bound coast and desert, mountain and plain, time for nature, time for flower gardens, trees, burdens, and sunsets, time to love and be loved, for love is the greatest thing in the world, time for people, time for the interplay of personalities and the interchange of ideas, time for solitude, time to be quiet and alone and to look within, time to give of ourselves, our talents, abilities, devotions, convictions, that we may contribute to the onward march of man. Time for worship, time for opening our lives to God's infinite springs of vitality, that we may live more abundantly. And always let us make our moments glow with life. Let us pray, as did Matthew Arnold, calm me more, not let me die before I've begun to live.
Wow.
And if any of you are thinking about life being bad, then it's time for you to start to live.
And there was just so many reasons in the passage that you just read, things that we take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is amazing to me now from just you reading from these books. I go to the golf course now. I don't care what I score. I want to play good, but I smell the grass. I notice the clouds, the wind blowing, the company that you're with. It's all a moment to take in. If I hit a bad shot, I don't get mad. I could care less. The fact that I'm there.
The fact you were able to make the shot.
The fact that I was just able to be there, yes,
Yeah.
or to swing or do whatever. It is so comforting that I actually am playing better because I am relaxed. There is no pressure. But you just pointed out all of the things that we could be concentrating on today, that we could be enjoying.
And it's a tough life. Anyone that says it's not tough hasn't done much living. But within all of that being tough, there's room for lots of happiness, laughter, good times, and love if we look for it.
And if we take the time for
And
it.
if we take the time for
Yeah,
it.
that's the big factor.
Now, bitterness, it will consume you, my friends. There is not a doubt in my mind, because, again, it just popped in my head, that someone that is extremely bitter is listening to this program right now, naysaying everything that we're saying. And I'm saying to you, my friend, please stop and think. What good is the bitterness doing for you? Is it making you feel good? Is it making you healthy? Is it making you happy? Turn loose of the bitterness. Let it go. And you're saying, but you don't know what. Yeah, what difference does it make? That's yesterday.
Yeah.
Everything that's happened in your life is gone.
You know, that's such a good question you just presented. Okay, so you've had some bad breaks, you've had some things going wrong, and you're bitter. How's that working out for you? I mean, you basically bluntly put the question out there. How is bitterness helping you? Are you feeling better about it? Of course not.
Is it making you healthy? No.
Oh, no.
Is it ruining your health? Yes.
Is it pushing the people around you away from you?
Is it making sure that you have no one around you? Yes. Please, my friend, turn loose of the bitterness. Let it go. Say to yourself, all these things that's making me bitter, I hereby forgive you.
Yeah, and now here's the thing that gets me. You started out this program, and you always bring us around in a circle, but you started out this program with a young man who was 31 years of age, who only had 2 months left to live, that was terminal. If ever there was someone that had the right to be bitter, this young man could curse and say, why me, and be bitter, but instead he's spending his time encouraging other people to enjoy the life that he is not going to be able to enjoy.
That's right.
Wow. Now there's character for you.
Well, if you'll remember, we read from Bridget Clay's book, where she was trying to share and help people with what she had gone through with her grief. There's some wonderful, wonderful people out there. And that's the people that we need to gravitate to. And it's the people that ultimately will be the ones that find happiness while they're on this earth.
You pointed it out. If you're alive today, you have a chance of changing things.
And if you're alive today, you have a really good shot at happiness, contrary to what some of you may be thinking right now. You have an excellent shot at some happiness. It's just a shot you have to take, and an attitude that you, my friends, You have to make that decision.
Gary, can you imagine, whichever one of our friends is listening that says, oh, but I have these problems. What if you had to go and sit down with that young man who has 2 months to live and try to explain to him why your problems are so big that you deserve to be bitter? Could you do that? I wouldn't want to do that.
It would be tough.
Because this young man's going to look back at you and say, I would trade places with you in a heartbeat because I would have the opportunity to fix those problems, and I don't.
In our book, The Art of Living by Wilford Peterson, he has a little chapter on the art of happiness. And I think it's appropriate at this point in time to read that to my friends. Listen up, folks. He's got some good little pointers in here. You can't pursue happiness and catch it. Happiness comes upon you unaware while you are helping others. The philosophy of happiness is pointedly expressed in the old Hindu proverb, which reads, "Help thy brother's boat across, and lo, thine own has reached the shore." Happiness is like perfume. You can't spray it on others without getting some on yourself. Happiness does not depend upon a full pocketbook, but upon a mind full of rich thoughts and a heart full of rich emotions. Happiness does not depend upon what happens outside of you, but on what happens inside of you. It is measured by the spirit in which you meet the problems of life. Happiness is a state of mind. Lincoln once said, "We are as happy as we make up our minds to be." Happiness doesn't come from doing what we like to do, but from liking what we have to do. Happiness comes from putting our hearts in our work and doing it with joy and enthusiasm. Happiness does not come from doing easy work, but from the afterglow of satisfaction that comes after the achievement of a difficult task that demanded our best. Happiness grows out of harmonious relationships with others, based on attitudes of goodwill, tolerance, understanding, and love. Happiness is found in little things: a baby's smile, a letter from a friend, the song of a bird, a light in the window. Happiness comes from keeping constructively busy. Creative hobbies are the keys to happy leisure hours and retirement years. The master secret of happiness is to meet the challenge of each new day with the serene faith that all things work together for good to them that love God.
Wow.
Isn't that powerful?
It is powerful. And what I'm hoping that while you read that, I was hoping that one of our friends said, okay, I get it. I can flip the switch and I can have all those things that Gary just read about.
What you have to do, folks, is to forget all the wrongs that's been done to you. And you can do that.
Now, just so our friends got you right, you said, quote, you have to forget all of the wrongs that's been done to you.
Yeah. Put them behind you because you can't change those wrongs. They're done.
Mm-hmm.
You can't bring them back. So put them out of your mind. Put them way down in your subconscious where you'll never find them again, and move on.
No matter how bad that insult was, no matter how cheated you were in a deal, no matter how a friend had turned their back on you.
As Anita said, just remember, you're only as stupid as you are.
Mm-hmm.
And we will do stupid things. We make mistakes. We do things that unbelievable as human beings because we come with all the frailties of being human.
Sure.
So what you have to do is forget all the wrongs that's been done to you and move on. And try to have enough sense to not let somebody else wrong you in the same way. Does that make any sense, Keith?
Yeah, I think our friends are catching on to it. I had a lady tell me the other day that in a conversation, an individual had insulted her tremendously. And she said, but I didn't get mad because I realized this individual didn't know they were insulting me. And so I didn't get upset. I didn't get angry. I forgave them right on the spot because they didn't know what they were doing.
But she shouldn't have got mad even if the person did know they were insulting.
Whether it was intentional. Yeah.
Because that's that person's extra grind, not hers. And we are in control of our own attitudes on how we choose to look at what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You asked me one time if I had any enemies, and I told you, I don't know. If I do, I forgot who they are.
Yeah.
Because of course people have tried to do wrongs to me, but I'm honest when I tell you folks, I can't remember them.
You also told me, you said, don't ever worry about hurting my feelings because at the end of the day, I wipe the chalkboard clean, and the next day, even if you thought you did, I'll probably see you and smile and go, hey, how you doing, friend?
I can't change those things, but I can change and control my own attitude. And it feels better to not hold grudges.
Mm-hmm.
It feels better to not get angry. It feels better to smile. Folks, try it. I think you'll be amazed at how much better you feel.
Look again at the example that you gave us at the beginning of this program, the 31-year-old man who found out he had terminal cancer and 2 months to live. Spending his time trying to help a fellow human being. That's what you were reading about in that passage, that happiness comes from helping someone. What a pain relief and what a joy it would be to that young man to know that his message got out to one person that said, you changed my attitude. I'm no longer bitter. I'm going to be happy and I'm going to enjoy every moment of my life.
And if there's any of you thinking that life is not worth living, remember what the young man said. Rejoice in every gray hair. Rejoice anytime you live long enough to lose your hair.
Mm-hmm.
Rejoice in every birthday. Because it is a gift of life that you've been given, and his was cut short.
What a pleasurable thing to have instead of a regret. Gray hair? Yeah, absolutely. Falling out? That's fine with me. Birthdays? Let's put 100 candles on that cake. No,
absolutely.
No problem, right?
That's right.
So it's just the opposite of how you look at everything.
And if you're alive, you have an excellent opportunity to have some happiness.
The thing that I've taken from the last couple of programs that you've been doing, I now realize we don't intentionally mean to fall into this trap. Because when you read these articles and when you talk to us about this, it is so simple to me. I mean, that I think every one of us are agreeable that this is what we want. But it sneaks up on you, and you fall into this trap without meaning to. And it's tough to get out of it once you do.
Well, like I say, we want to get one person to have a little better looking at life, how they look at it, based on this program. And then we'll be satisfied, if just one will.
Just one.
That's all.
But then I wonder, Gary, if you can get just one, how many people will that one person affect if they truly get this message and they change? Will they then spread it to another one or another 10 or another 100? When people see the changes that have occurred, will they want to be like this individual?
It's like you said in here, happiness is sort of like spraying perfume.
Uh-huh.
You can't give it to others without getting a little yourself.
Isn't that the truth? That is the truth. And it works vice versa with negativity, doesn't it?
Well, there is nothing worse than misery loving company.
It is so true. And you can get caught up in it. And it can change you. If you've ever started out the day smiling and happy, and then all of a sudden you run into this one individual who wants to tell you how bad things are and how negative things are, you feel everything leaving your body. And all of a sudden you're drawn into this gloom and doom with the individual you're talking with.
Someone asked me the other day, Gary, well, at your age, why do you still practice law? Well, I can tell you. I got a card the other day from one of my clients after we'd settled their case. And she said in the card, thanks to you, I can now breathe.
Wow. How's that?
Now that is why.
Yeah. The opportunity to help and to change somebody's life.
And that's why I do it.
And the fact that you're good at it and you enjoy it.
Been doing it a long time.
Yeah. Well, we've got quite a challenge on our hands. And hopefully we will take the lesson from the young man that you talked about, who, with 2 months left, turns his attention to his fellow man and is trying to encourage them to be happy and to enjoy this life. So this week, as Gary read from the book, The Art of Living, hopefully you'll notice the sky, you'll notice the trees, you'll take a walk, you'll spend some time with a friend, you'll make a phone call, mend some fences.
And you won't get angry over insignificant things.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Is that it?
That's it.
And remember, it's all small stuff. Indeed. You can catch Gary's television show Tuesday nights on WYMT at 7 o'clock, your CBS affiliate. A late-night replay takes place in Central Kentucky on WKYT, your CBS affiliate. And if you're an early riser, you can start the week with us at 6:30 a.m. on your Fox affiliate and then end the week at Friday at 6:30 a.m. on your Fox affiliate. You need to get in touch with Gary, GaryCJohnson.com. My friend, this was a great lesson in happiness.
Let's hope.
On behalf of Gary C. Johnson, I'm Keith Casebolt. Thank you so much for tuning into this program. As always, Gary and I look forward to seeing you again next week right here at this same time.